Yee, yee, yee. What it do, my guy? Hey,
What's up, my brother?
man, just another day, man. I'm trying to recover. Had a little Rona scare, man. So I'm actually over here in quarantine mode. That ain't gonna
Okay.
stop me from doing my Red Nation Drinking Club issue.
Hey,
You feel me?
we here though, man. We here, man. We hanging in, man. It's over, man. I put in the comment, man. Um, the football season has ended. However,
Right?
the Raider Nation season is 24/7, 365, baby. You know what I'm saying? We
Shit don't
wrap
stop.
on here, man, real quick. We got Ant Dogs in the building, G Menace,
And
the home
dog,
Will
D
Garcia,
Menace.
New York City. Mr. Silver, man, first time, Miss my first time seeing you in here. Hopefully you subscribed and like what you see.
Oh,
So
you know who that is, Mr. Silver. That's the homie Big Fletch.
okay,
Yeah, Worldwide Raider Nation. Shout out to
So,
Worldwide Raider Nation, baby.
for sure. Tone, my brother, he's drunk right now. You know how we do. He got rolled at the Niner game. So for sure, this is our Monday late night. My cousin Nikki in the building. This is our Monday late night, and we're doing it a little earlier today. Q is on a flight coming back from Atlanta,
Shout out to
so he
Q.
won't be able to get in. You know how them flights are nowadays. You never kind of know when you're going to get where or whatever. Also, we got a couple extra guests with us today.
Special guest, man.
Special guest,
Woo.
guest,
Hey,
man.
y'all in for a treat today, man. Y'all's in for a real treat today.
For sure. First off, I'm gonna bring in our homeboy, man, our people Omar. I used to be on the show with him back in the day. And Omar, great peoples, man. He was out here also for that Niner game. And then we're gonna bring in this guy right here. Is all over the internet. I seen people talking about, hey,
Oh yeah.
we blow this up all over the internet, and I'm with it, man. I'm with it because we've been saying this shit for years. When the season ends, we deserve better, man. We
Yep.
deserve better. So let's bring in Vegas Ralph, baby.
Vegas Ralph, baby.
What's
The one
up?
and
What's
only.
up?
The
Vegas
one and
Ralph,
only.
what's happening, brother?
Man.
So
Love the
Hey,
shirt.
I just wanna get right into it. I wanna get in right into it, man. Vegas Ralph, bro. Like without even trying to put our little spin on it, without trying to put our what we saw, what we think, bro. We want to hear from you, man. Like everybody know the elephant in the room, right? So let us know, bro. What went down? What's going on? Obviously you had to sign, but let us know what the deal was, man.
oh, hold on, Ralph.
Yeah.
Your volume, bro.
Your volume is off. Well, your volume is off. You were on
There you
earlier. And
Now you're still
it's
muted.
still off. It's still off. This is Vegas Ralph first time. So he's learning this. You were on earlier. Check usually there's like a little mute thing button or
Uh-oh. Go out.
you
Hey, we might have to bring him out and then bring him back in.
yeah.
Nah,
No,
still can't
no,
hear you.
yeah. I think try to go out. Try to go out and come back in. Sometimes that works. Try to go out and come
He
back
can
in.
he can hear us. You can hear us, right?
He's
Hey,
just
yeah, we
muted.
can't.
You can see the little mute sign right there by his name. So I think he just needs to unmute himself because
Yeah,
it's
I
showing.
think you muted yourself, bro.
Yeah.
Try
Check down at the bottom of your screen. You'll see a little mute button.
yeah, down at the bottom of your screen, there's a little mute button.
The mic on the microphone. Check the
Yeah.
microphone.
Yep. Nope. It's muted.
Well, no, he pressed the microphone because I pressed my mic and I unpressed it.
He
Huh.
does have a little mute right by it, right here, right?
Nah,
No.
we gonna get this. We gonna get this together, y'all. Don't trip. We gonna get this together because we definitely want to hear what Vegas Ralph got to say.
Right,
So we
right,
gonna get it.
right.
We gonna get it together.
You're right. No.
No,
Yeah.
Go exit out, Ralph. Exit out
Yeah,
and then come back in.
go out. Yeah, go out and come back in. Yeah, for sure, for sure. Um, Darth Vader, Han Solo in the building. What's
Hey,
happening?
hey.
What's happening, man?
What's up? What's up,
Uh,
everyone?
you know what I'm saying? So to me, this is the biggest concern of it all. Just the way they're treating fans, man, and the way it's being seen by whoever. Because
Right.
Right.
I actually heard people defending the Raiders or the security on the whole situation, and I'm just like, I don't really know if if I can get with that, man. I understand no shirt, no shoes, no service, no mask, no whatever, no service. I understand that. But to me, if you're going to be kicking people out for holding signs when they paid hundreds of dollars to get into a place, if anything, first off, you're bitching and complaining about how these other fans are taking over your stadium. And that's a whole nother thing we can get into also on tonight's show.
Right.
But kick them motherfuckers out. If that's what you're gonna do, kick them motherfuckers out. Don't kick your own people out. That whole shit to me is backward. All right,
Right.
let's see. Let's try it. Okay, Vegas Ralph is back. Let's see if it works now.
All right.
Ralph.
Can you guys
Hey,
hear me?
Hey.
There you
All
go.
right.
We
There
got
you
it.
go.
Okay.
good.
Now we cooking with grease.
Now,
Yeah,
now we
sure,
cooking with grease. You feel me?
All
or
right.
cognac or something.
Shout
We
to
could
that.
do cognac or something over here. I
We'll be
don't know.
cooking
All
with
right.
y'all.
You back, brother.
So again, bro, we already know the elephant in the room. You know, everybody saw what we saw, we heard what we heard, you know, but we want to hear from down, bro.
So, okay, so basically what happened is I wanted to make a statement just because I was unhappy with what I was seeing on the field. Can you guys hear me good?
Got you.
Yeah,
Yep.
you're
Okay,
great.
good. So I was pretty much like everybody else that is the Raiders fan. I was pretty much unhappy with the way that the season started, the way that it was going, and the way that it ended. And so I, me, and actually Thor, because we've tailgated before. You tailgate with us. Shout
Yeah,
out to Thor. Do you live in the Bay Area, Thor?
not anymore. I live in Vegas now. I've been here for almost 2 years. 2 years in March.
Okay, all right. Because I was gonna say, because I know that you haven't missed a game, as far as I
Yeah,
know.
yeah,
I
right.
see you at the tailgate with your big old cigar, puffing.
Yeah.
And so we run in the same circles here locally in the sense that you know the same folks I know, right? We
Right.
tailgated with the Black Hole, with Cisco and them.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And my best friend, which happens to be DJ Rocks, which is Izzy, shout out to DJ Rocks.
Shout out to
Uh,
Rocks.
I want to
Mhm.
say that it was the game against the Patriots. It was the Patriots game where, because where my see where I was sitting at when this whole thing happened, this game against the Chiefs, I wasn't sitting in my normal season seats. So I was sitting
Mm.
in my aunt. I have an aunt that lives in the Bay Area that lives in Martinez. So she
Okay.
lives. Shout out to my aunt Rachel out there in Martinez, Contra Costa County. And
Hey.
so so those were her seats. So she owns those two seats that are right by the tunnel in the front, which is where I was sitting at.
Mhm.
And she also has two seats over where I'm at in section 232. Now, for those that don't know where section 232 is, it's in the second level in the very front corner end zone, Raiders sideline. Um, and so to the left of me, there is nobody that sits to the left of me. I literally have the last seat on the aisle. There's a glass partition that separates our section and the MGM suite. So we're in that second level where the suites are. And so my boy Izzy, he's the one that came up with the idea because, just like us, we're fed up with the way that the product that they're showing on the field, right?
Yeah.
And how everything else is going on. And so he said, you know what, man, we should make a banner. He said, we should make a banner and hang it off the side where the partition's at, which the only real people that can see the sign at that point are the people that are sitting on the other side to the left of us, which would be like where the Al Davis torch is at. So
Mm-hmm.
if you're sitting and you're in that area, and if you happen to look over where our section is at, you'd be able to see the banner. And so
Mm-hmm.
he's the one that actually came up with "We Deserve Better." He's the one that came up with it. So I'm not going to take credit. You know what I
Okay.
mean? And I want to be able to at least give him a shout out because it was his idea, but I'm the one that actually executed it. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? And
Right.
so we thought about doing it, but then we're thinking about like, how are we going to be able to pull this off? Are we going to, because he mentioned like doing it like real cheap, maybe getting like a white bed sheet and maybe spray painting the words "We Deserve Better," real old school, like, right?
Right. Right.
But then,
Y'all was going super hood with that one. I
yeah.
appreciate
Right. Right.
that.
That
And
was a super
so,
hood shit for real.
yeah. And so
Right.
it got to a point where, man, he's busy. I'm busy. I work 6 days a week. I keep a very busy schedule. I got a 15-month-old at home. I got a wife at home, and I just don't got time to be real arts and crafty with like, like that. And then I got to think about how I'm gonna hang it. How are we gonna do? We're gonna put double-sided tape. We're gonna sneak in a pair of pliers, which is gonna be hard. I mean, it was just the whole thing to where we're just like, until I started thinking about it. And I remember when him and we went to a game in Denver. And this was, oh, you know what? It's funny that I mentioned this because me holding up a sign and getting on TV is not the first time that we've done this. You know what I'm
Mm.
saying? So I remember it was back in the Jason Campbell era. It was Hugh Jackson was the coach. I don't know if you guys remember. You guys probably do
Man,
remember this because we
those
played the
was the last
Broncos
good
on Monday
good
Night
years.
Football. Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Yep.
You did.
Oh
Okay.
yeah.
So I remember we played Denver on Monday night. It was raining. And it was the game where Janikowski tied the record for the longest field goal right before halftime.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yes. Right
So
before
me and
halftime.
my
Yeah.
boy Izzy, we went to Denver and I had made a sign that said Denver Donkeys.
Yes.
And so we were able to bring that into the stadium. And sure enough, it was on ESPN. And I held up the sign and we got on TV. So the whole thing with the signs wasn't new to us. And he gave me the idea. And I pretty much thought about it. And I said, you know what? I'm going to call Aunt Rachel and I'm going to ask and see if she can let me get her seats for this game. Because I originally wanted to do it for the 49er game. But she had already gave the seats away to one of my other cousins or something. And so I was like, all right. And so it ended up being that the perfect game for me to do this was against Kansas City because it was the last game of the season. But I pretty much knew that being in that front, because where the seat was at is in section 125, in the front, there's nobody sitting in front of us. And it was the perfect place to pull this off at because it's right under where right on top of where the tunnel is at, where the players come in and out of. So I knew that being right there, either the coaching staff, the players themselves, or even the people that cover the games, the photographers, they were gonna have to see me because you can't avoid me. Like I'm right there, right in your face.
Mm-hmm.
And so pretty much we actually did 3 signs, but only 2 made it because the third one we couldn't really put it out because it was too long. But the first sign, which the one is that everybody saw, was the one that says "We Deserve Better," and then the second one is the one that said "Bench McDaniels." The third sign that really nobody got to see said Josh McDaniels' record as a head coach. We wanted to make sure that he saw what his record was as a head coach, and I'm sure he knew, but we wanted to prove the point to let him know that the problem with the Raiders is much more than Derek Carr. Whether you like Derek Carr or not, whether if you're on the Derek Carr side or not, you have to admit, even after these last 2 games, that Derek Carr is not the problem of the Raiders. He's not been perfect. He's not been the greatest. We all know that, but he's not the problem with the Raiders. And so that was just the point that we try to come across and just let everybody know that the problems with this team is much more than just a quarterback. And it was pretty evident the way that these last 2 games went. But that's how pretty much the whole idea of the sign came up. When we did the sign, my intentions were on going double viral. And I say double viral because both signs went viral, including with them kicking me out. That wasn't the intention by no means. My intentions were just to bring the sign. I knew that I was going to get on TV. I just knew it, right? For 3 or 5 seconds. I didn't expect for everything else to go down the way that it did, which was crazy,
Right.
you know? but that was just pretty much the point that we were trying to hit, and we did it. The only thing is that because the CES convention was in town, this was the first game Izzy had actually missed the whole entire season because, he works in the union, and so they pay him triple time during these big time conventions. Right. And so since the game got moved from Sunday to Saturday, he was like, I can't make it, or else he would have been the one with me pulling off these stunts. And instead, I brought my wife and I brought my son. And the funny thing about it was my idea to bust out the bags. I was actually gonna do the paper bags and the sign, which would have been the ultimate disrespect to Mark Davis and to everybody else that is in charge of this team, including the coaching staff, right? But my wife was very adamant. She said, no, man, we're not doing the bags. She says, if you want to do the bags, I ain't going.
Shout out to your wife.
Bags, Ralph. Don't
shout out to your wife, bro. Shout out to your wife.
Shout out to wife Vegas Ralph.
Yeah, you can't do the bags, bro. You can't do the bags. I love
know, but I was so mad and so angry about the way everything was going that I really wanted to do that. But in hindsight, I'm really glad that she did talk me out of it and we didn't do the bag. So that was good.
Right.
But
hey, real quick, guys, man. I want you to finish your full story. We got someone backstage who was out there. He just got back to Florida, so we're gonna bring our brother Captain Jack Rackham in, baby. So we're gonna bring in Captain Jack.
Yeah, gentlemen, how you doing? I apologize. This is not my normal studio. This is my truck.
Right.
And I literally just bag dropped the stuff here, and I didn't want to do video and drive at the same time. So out of respect for everybody here, I said, I apologize. I can actually go outside if I want, if the lighting sucks, but you guys tell me.
Now,
it
looks good to me.
Good.
Whatever.
Actually,
your white beard is radiating light off of it, brother. Hey, I got that same. I got mine too. So
okay,
that's wisdom. That's wisdom.
Well, and again, literally, I got the hit from Thor, and I just hit the tram when I got into Tampa. Got the bags, and I'm like, I will make it. And so I am here out of respect for the whole crew. Good to see everybody.
Good to see you. Good to see you.
Especially the We Deserve Better gentlemen, because again, there's a good thing about expressing your thought. And I appreciate the fact that thoughts can be expressed, but and it's a big white butt like mine. Okay. There's I agree with the fact that there are issues with this team. So I'm not here to when you parade whatever you do with the swords, there's
Parry.
like I said,
Perry.
thank you. I knew it was a P word, damn it, and it wasn't pissing. So it was a parry with the swords, but I will say that it is true. There is more things wrong with this team other than the quarterback situation, but by the same token, this same broken team put 34 points up on a #1 defense in San Francisco last week. 34 freaking points with a quarterback that knows the system. So Kansas City went out and they Spagnuolo, being one of the better defensive coordinators, figured out how to stop Jacobs, how to stop the receivers, or for the most part, shut them down. It was embarrassing to be there at that game and basically get shut out with only one frickin' touchdown. That was embarrassing. I do think, though, that I saw a lot of like second wind with Waller and Renfro last week, even with Jacobs last week, even with the offensive line last week. They had a breath of fresh air upon them. The defense played better. And I really believe that we got to, and I know this is going to piss off a lot of people, but we really got to give this coaching staff and the general manager the chance to make a team of what they want, with who they want, and how they want, in order to get the process started to win. Whether good, bad, or indifferent, you just can't throw out after 1 year. I am so tired, and I'm old. I mean, Al Davis, may he rest in peace. Al Davis was like the Lawrence Welk of coaches, 1-2 fire, 1-2 fire, one, it was like a year, two, like maybe a year. And then on the second year, and you're out, buddy. Okay. And what did that get us over all that time? That was all the times that we really, really sucked. Okay. Then we get Gruden, and we at least had a little bit of stability. And I'm talking about Gruden 1.0, not Gruden 2.0, right? Gruden 1.0 comes in, we get some stability by the end of year 2. Remember, at the end of year 2, we beat Kansas City and Kansas to make it to 8-8. And then the next year, we started our playoff run. Now, I'm not saying that Josh McDaniels is the second coming of Gruden 1.0. I'm not saying that. But what I'm saying is that even Gruden was allowed to do 2 years with the team and with the players to develop underneath him, and good things happened after that. And I agree with the gentleman to my what is it? It's my right on the screen. Okay, we do deserve better, dude. Am I allowed to cuss, Thor?
Yes. Hey, Cap, we don't give a fuck on our show.
Okay,
hey, this is all the way hood, Cap. We drinking, smoking weed, cussing, we doing it all.
Okay, well, I do out of respect ask, because when I do my Roku shows, I can't. Now, when I do my uncensored, right, I say I can fucking cuss like a motherfucker, and you guys know that, right? So, but I do ask. Yes, we do fucking deserve better. I am 57, almost 58 years old. My dick still works for all the ladies out there, so don't think just because I'm old that I can't do shit, okay? I want to get that out there right there, okay? I can still do shit, but we do deserve better, and I want to see another long playoff run by a Raiders team before they fucking plant my ass. I want to see that. And I do want to see what we have with this team. Patrick Graham has a difficult defense where people say it takes a bit, and it takes the players for him to mold and get them to play together. Josh McDaniels' system is difficult. It's not for novices. And there is only 1 or 2 or 3 people, and you guys, I won't even say their fucking names because one of them's on our team already, that know how to run this system and run it well. Far be it for me to say, I like what we have with Stidham, with a guy who can run that offense, and oh, by the way, can run out of fucking tackles when the offensive line is breaking down, and he can fucking run for first downs. And I'm not a Kardashian, and I'm not a Kardashian, because I know the difference. I am very neutral. I'm very analytical. But the kid can run the system, and it put 34 fucking points up on a top-ranked defense last week. Yeah. Was it an aberration? I don't know. But I still say we need to give this guy a chance. And when I say we, it's the royal we. And then I'm going to also say something as well. Thor, Q, who else is in here? I can't see. My eyes are bad.
Q's not in here. He's on a flight. Q's in the chat. Q is on a layover in Texas.
This is GQ, Cap.
That's
okay.
GQ. That's GQ.
Okay. Again, apologies. It's dark here, and I'm tired. I've been flying all fucking day. So again, apologize for me not seeing everything. Again, I ain't gonna play.
See me, Cap?
I'm gonna play. Bad eyesight. Now I see you. Yeah, now I see you. Take that fucking hat off so I can see you, motherfucker.
I can't take off the hat, man. This my Al Davis hat, man. Come on, man. I gotta show love for the goat.
Hey, I'm just kidding. But what I'm just saying is, I lost my fucking thought now. We
You're
need to give
Stidham.
Stidham, yes. We need to give McDaniels and Ziegler another year to get the players that they want to perform what they need. And I also don't think we need to spend 30 fucking million on an old broken down quarterback that resides about maybe 3 miles from where I'm at right now at the Tampa airport. I don't want that motherfucker. And I don't think we need him.
Cap,
Well,
let me
well,
ask you
Cap
this.
though. Oh, go ahead, Ralph.
So I just want to ask you regarding Stidham, you're saying that we need to give him a chance because he's a system quarterback. He knows the Josh McDaniels system. But my question to you is this, right? Being that he came from New England, being that he's been a backup his whole career since he's been in the league, he never beat out Cam Newton for the position. He never beat out Brian Hoyer for the position. And he never beat out Mac Jones for that same position. So he's been in the league for those 3 years. He couldn't beat those guys. He couldn't beat those guys while they were in New England. What makes you think that he has what it takes to take over this ship right here when clearly the past 2 games, and granted, I'm going to give credit when credit is due. I'm not that type of fan where I'm rooting against my own team because that's silly. That's like me rooting against the pilot that's taking me, right, on an over-the-seas a flight and rooting for the plane to crash because I don't like them. That's not what I'm doing, right? But what I'm asking is, out of the 2 games that we've already seen Stidham, the first game we can all agree that he played great against the 49ers with that, against that defense, okay? A lot of people can say that he did good because nobody had tape on him. They couldn't scout him, right? So, but while he played that game, right, we had the lead halfway through the third quarter. We had a 10-point lead in the third quarter to see the defense give it up and for us to see what we've already seen 4 times before when Derek Carr was a quarterback. Right. So what I'm saying to you is, since he's already been with Josh McDaniels, he's never beat out any of those guys, right? When he played against the 49ers, it was his very first time ever starting a game in his career.
Gotcha.
And he put up 3 touchdowns and 360 yards.
And 365. Don't short him that 5 yards. 365.
Right. But at the end of the day, he played good, but we still lost. Now, at the end of that game, a lot of people came out and were on his side saying, okay, we should give, and that's fine. Give him a chance and everything else. But all of a sudden, moral victories were good. All of a sudden, almost winning was good.
No, sir.
But that's what it seemed like. Like. And so fast forward to last Saturday, so to this past Saturday, where he has a chance to really show us he played good. He played good against a really good defense. But now let's see how you play against Kansas City when they already have tape on you, when they already have a chance to study you, to see your tendencies, to see how you read these plays. And as you can see, he would even tell you that the game was a disaster. I don't think the game could have gotten any more worse than what it couldn't got than what it went for Jarrett Stidham. So based on those 2 games moving forward, I have to disagree. I don't see anything in this kid that leads me to believe that he's going to be the starter next year.
Look at that note below. Look at that note below.
Let me,
because that's what I wanted to let you. That's what I wanted to say, because everybody said, "Well, he couldn't beat out these guys. He was injured."
He was injured
for 2 of the 4 years
so
out of camp. He was the number 1 quarterback looking out in the preseason, and he got injured, and it took him back, and that's why they ended up getting a Mac Jones, okay? And that's why they brought in a Cam Newton, because of his injuries, okay? And oh, by the way, and my idea is we don't need no fucking old ass Brady. We don't need no brittle ass Jimmy Garoppolo. There is another quarterback who people forget played in the Josh McDaniels system that is a great spot starter. And what is his name? His name is Jacoby fucking Brissett. Who's played in the Josh McDaniels system, can play in anybody's system, and is a good person to bring in at a low cap hit. Let Jacoby and let Stidham fight it out. let's draft a quarterback. And listen to my fucking lips when I say this, not in the first fucking round, because the first round pick needs to go for defense. Spell it for me, motherfuckers. Defense.
Amen to that.
Hey, Cap, I'm going to go even further. I'm going to say, you better not draft a quarterback in the first 2 or 3 rounds. You draft a quarterback maybe in the third, but preferably in 4. Honestly, I want all defense.
You guys, I don't think that's gonna happen. I mean, if you look at this man's record, what did he do in Denver? He got to Denver. He got rid of Jay Cutler. He had I think of the stopgap guy, and then he drafted Tebow. 6 games in, got caught cheating and got fired in that next season.
Okay.
What I'm saying is, I hope what you say happens if we do draft a defensive player in the first round. I just don't think that's going to happen.
Okay, man. I got you. I got you. And I'm going to do a shameless plug because I can do it, because you gave me the greatest segue in the world. You guys know I do a show on Wednesday called Wild Wild West, where I'm sitting down with one person like me. I do the Raiders, and I got a Broncos guy, I got a Chiefs guy, and I got a Garglers guy. And yes, I said it correctly, a Garglers guy. Okay. I drop that shit on him every week. He laughs. But Richie Riche, who is the Broncos aficionado, stated this, and this is a fact.
Call them by their proper name, the Donkeys aficionado.
Okay, a donkey aficionado. Well, actually, he's from Canada. He's pretty nice.
Okay, but it's still the Donkeys. It's still the Donkeys. I don't care where he's from.
If he likes that team, it's the Donkeys.
Yes.
Nicest donkey fan you can have because he's from Canada. I appreciate that.
So instead of the Donkeys, it's
Richie
the Donkeys.
Riche even stated that even though he got moved out from under him, after that second season, he was responsible for bringing in on the draft the people that were the baseline of going and winning a Super Bowl for the Donkeys. Look at the drafts of the guys that he was responsible for, other than T-Blow. And I'm a fucking Gator, and I was like, man, that was a bad fucking move. But you look at all the other people that he brought in, was the baseline between the drafts and the free agents that got them to the Super Bowl and won it. Look it up.
Hold on real quick. This is the best quote, I think, in the history of our show. My favorite aunt is a donkey. He's still a donkey. Tony Allen. That's right. That's right.
Wow. Tony is no joke.
Thank you, Tony. Thank you, Tony. Appreciate that, brother. And I agree. And I drop donkey. I drop gargler. And I drop fucking ketchup and mustard barbecue motherfuckers for the other bastards that live in Kansas City. It's very long to say it for them. I can't stand the fucking Chiefs. Cannot stand them. But when you
Ronald McDonald looking motherfuckers.
True. Yeah, or the bastards who need to have super fans rob banks to go to games.
That was hella funny. The homegirl Viv and her husband were here yesterday, still about to leave out to head back to LA. And she was looking through it. She was like, oh shit, I got a picture with that motherfucking bank robber and shit. Her and the wolf and shit from last year when they were out here.
Yeah, he went to the game last year. We didn't see him this year because I think he's locked up. But
he's still locked up. He's still locked up. Yeah.
Last year we seen him walking around the parking lot.
Yeah.
You see Sultan's post?
What was that?
What Sultan say? Okay, so I did see earlier he said I disagree. I wasn't sure what it was about. And he said you got it, or we're here every year. Hey, and
no.
So I will respectfully disagree with this, and I will say this is why. Because look at the bitch-ass, punk-ass fucking 49ers. Fuck them. I hate them more than any motherfucking team there is. I'm from the Bay. I'm a motherfucking East Bay motherfucker, and I can't stand them city motherfuckers. And let's be real, though. Them motherfuckers hard because they defense is solid, and they got whoever, that Jimmy G took them to the Super Bowl. Motherfucker took them. They should have went last year or whatever. And whoever they got, Brock Purdy this year, and they're damn near the favorite to go. It's either them or the Eagles, and the Eagles aren't that great. So if you build your defense and you run the old school fucking Raider football defense, run the
fucking ball.
And
look,
you can
this is that's why we got to keep Josh
back there.
That's why we got to lock up. They got to sew up Josh, bro. I think the
we got
move
a
is.
choice with Josh. Listen, I don't think we got a choice with Josh Jacobs right now. He's going to go to the highest bidder.
No, you can franchise him.
We can franchise tag his ass. They got to sew him up. You have to sew up Jacobs.
Hey, so Ralph, bro, today something came out and Josh Jacobs said he wanted to remain a Raider. He wants to remain a Raider.
But he did say, hold on, Thor. He did say if it makes sense, you can't forget that part. That little sentence is talking about money. He's saying I want to stay here, but he's saying if it makes sense, I want to stay here. That's what Ralph talked about.
Exactly what Hassan Malik Orr said. If it doesn't, you franchise his ass, bro. Like, so we'll say this. This what I'll say about Josh. To me, Josh, obviously the most of it. Josh is a beast. He's a dog. So he's not gonna, just because you franchise him, he's not gonna come in and pout and whatever. I think he'll do like everyone's like, oh, Devontae is leaving because Carr's leaving. Nah, Devontae went and balled out still because he's that dude. And I think Josh is that dude. Oh, my boy Robert Vega in the building. We got some more
New York squad.
Building. What's good, Vega?
New York's bravest right there. New York's bravest.
Bravest, baby.
So look, let me say this. Let me say this real quick. I'm gonna say this, and this is the same thing that we should have done before. How we missed on building the team. I'm saying the entire team. We should have built the team around Khalil Mack. Right? At the time that we had Mac, they should have put the money into Mac and into the defense and built the defense and built around that. So I'm saying this now. They need to build around Max Crosby. We need to build the team around Max. Build the defense up. Get Max help. Get another end over there. Get a D tackle that's a dog. Get a dog linebacker. We need some secondary, obviously. But we got to get the defense established, and we're going to be able to do that, Ralph, by moving away from Carr. By moving away from that money. You see what I'm saying?
I'm 100% with you. I'm in agreement. There's no doubt in everybody's mind that the defense, for me, was the biggest problem this whole entire season. Because
let me pause you right there, and keep your point. So when you say the defense was the problem this entire season, are you including the 7 games where the defense made the necessary stop to give us the ball back to the offense with the chance to win at the end of the game, and they failed? Are you including those games when you're saying the defense failed us all season? Because there have been, obviously we know the stats and we know the numbers, all that, but there have been too many times this year where this this sorry defense, the worst in the NFL defense, made the stops, the turnovers, the whatever it was, to give us the opportunity to the offense, which is better with Devontae Adams and Derek Carr and Josh Jacobs, to give us that win. Now, I'm not excluding a Renfro fumble or an overthrow or whatever. Yes, all that included, an offensive penalty. What I'm saying is the offense had the ball to win the game, and they didn't come through. But we're saying the defense, and that's like 7 games. And even in the 3 games, there's 3 games that we won. One of the games, defense literally won the game when Chandler Jones got the interception, right? And they made that stop. Before that, there was 2 games that we won back-to-back where the defense actually scored 2 touchdowns, and Derek Carr only scored 1 passing touchdown in those 2 games to win. We won those games with defense and not even the offense. So that's 3 games that we won exclusively because of defense. And the other games that we could have won, that defense did what they were supposed to do, right? Make the stop, even if they let the team come back or all that shit. But at the end of the game, we need this offense. You can't just blame it on the defense if you don't get it, because we need this. You got to score or we lose. They didn't come through. The offense didn't come through. I'm
Buddy,
just saying.
I'm talking about. So what I'm talking about is I'm talking about specifically the game when Baker Mayfield went 98 yards. And hear me out. You can tell me about the 7 games and everything else. I'm coming at you with the games that I know.
The Rams game. That was the Rams.
Baker Mayfield went 98 yards with no touchdowns. All right.
Okay.
We had pinned them at the 2-yard line.
And they didn't call a fucking safety on the motherfucking holding penalty of Max Crosby in the fucking end zone that would have been 2 points in the win.
I'm with you. Shoulda, woulda, coulda. Okay, what I'm telling you are facts. What I'm telling you is we kicked the ball off to make to Baker Mayfield. They were at the 2-yard line. No matter how bad Derek Carr played, no matter how bad the offense was, they never trailed in that game. Never. They never trailed. They kicked the ball off to Baker Mayfield. All the defense had to do at that point is to make a stop. Instead, what happened? They went 98 yards.
Ralph.
All the way down.
Hold on, Cap. Hold on, Cap, for a second. And that's very true, Ralph. Not discrediting that. Very true.
Hold on. Wait. Let me just make my point real quick, okay?
Okay.
During that drive, if you remember, okay, we had them on 4th down. What did Jerry Tillery do? That made them get a first down. Do you remember that?
Okay. That was a bullshit penalty.
He doesn't create that blunder. We win that game. Okay.
You mean the penalty that the officials called a personal foul when it should have only been a 5-yard penalty for I can't remember which one they call it, a personal foul. 15 yards when it's a 5-yard delay of fucking 5-yard delay a game. 5-yard delay a game. Bullshit call. Max Crosby held in the end zone for a safety. Bullshit call. Max Crosby held on the winning touchdown. Not even just held, fucking molested, mugged, and fucking hung out to dry. And the motherfucking officials don't call shit. I'm sick and fucking tired of everybody saying X, Y, and Z when you don't look at the motherfucking zebras. I'm sick and tired of playing 11 on 22 football. 11 on 22. Fucking hate it. I'm sorry, Ralph. I love you, brother, but you got to put everything in the equation. Everything in the equation.
I'm with you. I hate the zebras as much as you do. I'm with you.
Ralph.
So every game that we play, we're playing against the referees, and we're also playing against the opposing team. I'm with you on that, Captain.
Ralph,
what I'm saying to you is the penalty that I'm talking about wasn't a delay of game. They called a personal foul.
No, it was a delay of game because that is what the official rule is. I also do a show on Wednesday with an official, and he even said they fucking had the wrong penalty. A goddamn official, a retired official who is a Raiders fan. I know 2 words that don't go together, official and Raiders fan. They even said that the fucking officials fucked that penalty.
100%
he said
with
it.
You. But the call was on Jerry Tillery. They called for it was unsportsmanlike conduct because he slapped the ball out of the opposing player's hands, and
that's
that was the reason why they extended that drive. That's the reason why they extended that drive.
Ralph, it's delay a game.
They went on
5 yards delay a game.
True, Ralph. But what Cap is saying is, although that's what they called it, they miscalled the call. They called the wrong call.
100%.
They called the wrong call.
Right.
But Ralph. So what you're saying is true. But answer me this question: when Baker Mayfield got the ball at the 2-yard line to make that 98-yard drive, how did he get the ball?
Thank you. That's exactly what I was going to say.
How did he get the ball to be able to do it? Wait a minute, because you said we're talking about facts, right?
I know,
and we're saying we can't take anything out of the game, right? So before our second lowest paid defense in the NFL and worst ranked got to do a 98-yard stance against Baker Mayfield, how did the Rams get the ball?
Probably a 3 and out, but
why wasn't the game over? Why didn't we score?
What I'm saying to you,
how many points did we score in that half? How many points did we score in that half?
I think we scored 3 points.
No, we scored no points.
0.
Okay. No, I think it was a field goal. I'm
No,
pretty sure that there was a field goal
no.
in the third quarter. But I'm
No.
saying that was one of Derek Carr's worst games. I'm agreeing with you. But what I'm also saying is that we
So wait, so
never trailed.
our
No
defense is supposed
matter,
to save
listen,
us in a game that Derek Carr's playing his worst game, and they're the worst defense, and our top.
but we never trailed in that game, is what I'm saying to you, until the very last drive.
This is the NFL,
Listen,
Ralph. This is the NFL. Do we not expect teams to play football? Are we not expecting other teams to play football,
I
Ralph?
don't expect for I don't expect for the opposing team for a miracle to happen every single time they play against us. That I'm not expecting.
It wouldn't be
If
a
we
miracle if
had,
we
listen to
scored
me,
a
listen,
touchdown
listen.
and ended the game. It would
If
be
we
over.
had a half-ass defense, I'm talking
We
about.
Okay.
have a
Don't give
half-ass
me,
offense.
don't give me the Ravens, Ray Lewis defense.
Right.
Don't give me the monsters of
We
the
ain't got
Midwest. If you gave me the 15th ranked defense in the NFL right now, they make that stop against Baker Mayfield, a player that had been kicked off the Panthers. He was on the plane when he read the
Hey,
playbook. He
hey,
had been
look,
with the team 2 days, and he took our defense 98 yards to score and win the game. If the
check this out.
defense,
Check this
regardless,
out.
I'm agreeing with you.
Hey,
Derek Carr had a
and
terrible
look,
game. We
if we
get
had a
that.
if we had a better
But
defense,
if he stops them,
we would have a better record. Also, if we had a quarterback that was, let's say, the 15th most interceptions and not the fourth or fifth, we also would have a winning season too.
okay, all right. But how many? No, now. Let's be real. Let's talk interceptions. How many of those interceptions were tipped? Please tell me. At least half.
Of
Can I at
of
least get
Carr's
half?
interceptions,
Yes.
how many were tipped?
Yes. How many were tipped? Because I know I was in SoFi week 1. I know that I counted at least 2 or 3 tips that game.
So
Against Pittsburgh, there was two passes, one to Morrow, one to Renfro. They both were tipped, right?
see
Am I right?
the reason why this isn't a good conversation in terms of interceptions for me, because we would have to go to the tape, because I played football, I played quarterback, and when I say a lot of his interceptions, even the tip ones, is because of his poor ball placement and the timing on how he's throwing the ball. Then I'll tell you how. And now again, with this, I'll say this, because I say this to a lot of people. When you say, well, a receiver, he gets paid to catch the ball. So however the ball comes, if it touches his hands, he's supposed to catch it. Then I'm going to tell you, well, the quarterback, who gets paid more than that receiver, he gets paid to throw a ball accurately and on time and make proper decisions and know how. He don't just get to throw, whatever, and then just, hey, if to touch a nigga hand, he's supposed to catch it. It's his fault. Nah. So if they
They were
both getting
there.
paid,
They
if
were
they're both
there.
getting paid to do a job, then they both should be doing their job at the highest level. So if
So
I'm
let me
running
ask you
left
this,
and
okay?
you throw the ball
So
to my right, and I have to remember, I play receiver in college. So if I'm running a direction and you throw the ball the opposite, and I have to turn my body into that, should not have. I should not have to do that. Yes,
but what
yes, I
about
can
but
sometimes, but I shouldn't have to.
what about making
That
a
and
play for your quarterback though? What about
what about
making a
making a
play?
play for your receiver? And that was the difference in what we saw in Stidham. Stidham didn't make the receivers have to do those difficult shit. It looked like his balls, Waller was catching the ball in stride, running as he was catching it. They were, moving, being able to flow. That's the difference. The flow looked different. Carr makes shit look difficult. Too high. How many overthrown? Too low. Behind. Over. He's very inaccurate, bro. And if you don't say that he's not, I don't really know what you'll be watching, because his accuracy is definitely not one of the greatest, for sure.
Well,
And yes,
I got to take offense to that. Carr is very accurate when he throws out of bounds instead of going for 10 yards of open scrimmage in front of him. He's very accurate throwing out of bounds. I just had to make that point. I'm going to give Carr accuracy for being a bitch ass wimp and throwing balls out of bounds when there's 10 yards in front. I'm sorry. I just had to say that. I
didn't mean to deviate. I'm gonna get off that.
I was making too early comparisons, though. We only got one good game of film on Stidham. At least I only do, because I thought he did not look great to me against the Queens. He didn't look great at all. Them 2 fumbles. He looked, he looked like against the 49ers. He looked like when he moved around, like you were saying, he could still make things happen. For some reason against the Chiefs, he was moving around, and he looked like, oh, shit. It was like a total different flushing out of the pocket. You know what I mean? Where I saw a guy get flushed out the pocket and make a play. I seen another guy get flushed out the pocket and look like, oh, shit. And I still, like I say, I'm not going to make a judgment against them because, like I say, I got 2 games. I got 2 games. I need more. You know what I mean? Because you can't say he's inconsistent or not with only 2 games. So I'm just not ready to make a comparison with him and Carr.
Is accurately
It's
inaccurate and perfectly imperfect.
it's not even for me. I'm not even comparing him to Carr. I have made this argument about Carr the entire time. Outside of comparing him to anybody, he's just inaccurate. Are we saying that on game? Are we not watching the same games when motherfuckers be wide open and we be like, oh my god, how did he miss that? Oh. Or a motherfucker be wide open and then he throws a pass over here. And I'm like, why didn't you throw that? And then he say some dumb shit like, well, I just threw it where McDaniels tell me to throw. And wherever he say to go, I'm going to go. And I'm agree with whatever he see. Even if I see a nigga wide open, I can throw a touchdown. I'm not going to deviate. That doesn't make any sense.
I'm just here so I won't get fined.
That doesn't make any sense. Doesn't make any sense. I see a play where we can win the game, but I'm not going to deviate because McDaniel said the play goes like this, and this is who I look to, and I'm going to listen to. I trust what he said, and I'm just going to do what he says to do. And that was the difference between him and Gannon, because Gannon got in trouble a lot because he was like, "Fuck that. This is what we doing. We running this, and we gonna win." And he'll go on the sideline and tell Gruden that same shit. Whatever. We got to win this game, and he's getting on his team's ass too. He's getting, hey, y'all need to get y'all shit together so we can win this game. That was Gannon. That
was his biggest knock with Carr. Like, dude, you got to take control. You know what I mean? And I think so much went wrong with this team and this offense. Whether, like I say, I'm one of those people that I don't buy the complicated or less complicated offense. I'm more about, I see guys, first-time coaches do more with less. Now, I don't know if their offenses and defenses are more complicated or less complicated, but if you're getting better results, that's what I care about.
Hey, guys.
Like I said,
this year,
I hope. I'm a Raider
this
guy.
year,
I don't like McDaniels, but I hope we win next season. You know what I mean?
Hey, look. There was 10 teams this season. 10 teams had new head coaches. 5 of those motherfuckers are in the playoffs. 10 teams that have brand new head coaches, new system, new playbooks, new all that. 5 of them is in the playoffs. 3 of those had teams that they took over that had losing records the year before. Right?
Jaguars, one of them for sure.
You know what I mean?
Right.
And there's 2 teams right now that's in the playoffs that started the season 1-7.
Jaguars.
Yeah.
One of them. You know what I mean?
Now, let me ask you guys this. This is just something that I was thinking today. Because on my way to work, I was listening to Sirius NFL radio. And they started talking about all the coaches. Today's, what they call that? Black Monday, Bloody Monday.
Right?
Yeah.
So I started thinking to myself, out of all the coaches that got fired today, I started thinking, did any of those coaches have a worse season than Josh McDaniels?
Well,
like if you ask, like what I'm
one in particular,
if you ask Josh McDaniels and say, "Hey, how do you think your season went?" What do you think that he would say?
So I think, and this is me personally, this is why I think Josh McDaniels is not a dude. He's not a real. I think he's Norv Turner all over again. He's offensive coordinator.
That's my feeling right now. That is my exact feeling.
But I think if you're a head coach, if you're anything like okay, so GQ is here. Q was in here earlier. I know he had to get back on his flight. My boy Malik is in here. We play dominoes, say, right? So when you go to certain people's houses, they have different rules. I feel like, motherfucker, I adjust to any rule. I can come in and play. I feel like Josh McDaniels come in as a coach and say, this is what I want. Y'all got to adjust to that. No, motherfucker. You got all these dudes in here. You need to adjust to them, but I don't think he's good enough to do that. So the argument will be, oh, he don't have his people. He don't have this. He don't have that. Fuck, bro. Make that shit work. Like, to me, you're like, bitch, bro.
I feel like the players didn't execute a lot though, too, Thor.
No, fuck that shit. Make that shit work. Figure out a way to make it work. And I just don't think he's good enough to do that, honestly.
What I'm saying is I'm asking you guys is how
Hold
do
on,
you
real
guys
quick, real quick.
evaluate?
I think
Do you
I think Cap been stuck for a minute. I'm gonna remove him. Cap, if you're still there, come back in. But I just realized you've been stuck like that for a while.
So guys, so out of all the coaches that got fired today, out of all of them, if you compare them to the season and the job that they did and what got them fired, what I'm asking you is, out of all the coaches that got fired today, do you feel that they did a better job than what Josh McDaniels did this year? Because my feeling is this. My feeling is I don't have a problem with giving a coach a season or two to prove himself. But my thing is this, is he inherited a team that went to the playoffs a year ago. And all we needed at that point was a couple moves here and there to get back to the playoffs. Now, we all thought, all of us thought that this was going to be the year where we make a big leap, right? Yeah. Because now we have a coach that had head coaching experience. It didn't go well in Denver. That's why I don't understand why they brought him in. He never had a good record when he was in Denver, but they decided to bring him in. Okay. But what I'm saying is that out of all the coaches that got fired and they got let go of for less than what Josh McDaniels is doing to the Raiders right now. He took a team that went to the playoffs a year ago and ran it straight to the ground. We went from 11-6 to 6-11. And the last two games, had we won those two games, then at that point I can sit back and say, you know what? Derek Carr was the problem. Derek Carr was trash, like everybody says. But now it leads me to believe that this team has a lot more problems than the quarterback, because you remove Derek Carr and you still have the same results. You got a game where they blew a lead. You got a game where there was a fumble and an interception by the quarterback, right? And you still have the same results. We still lost two games, and yet nobody can say that it was because of Derek Carr. You can't blame these two games on Derek Carr. At some point, this coaching staff, they have to take accountability over what happened with this season. Okay? No other coach, guys, no other coach in this league got ring around the rosies ran on them this year, except our coach. That to me was the ultimate disrespect. And the fact that Josh McDaniels at the end of the game in his press conference, they asked him, they said, hey, do you find it disrespectful that the Chiefs ran ring around the rosies on you? You know what he said? He said, no, I don't think it's disrespectful. I think that's just Andy Reid being Andy Reid. At that point, the game wasn't out of hand. Yes, it was. It was in the fourth quarter. They were up 24-3 or something. They don't do that play if you're in it. They do that play to disrespect you and make you look like a chump. And that's what they did.
Okay, and yeah,
McDaniels look like a chump that game.
I agree with that. And by the way, I wasn't frozen. I just wasn't moving very fast, so you guys thought I was frozen. I was still here.
How come I can't see you?
If you want to see frozen, that's just me like taking it all in because I listened to everybody talk. Point being, yeah, I find that pissed me off. That goes back to Gruden rolling around the buses around Arrowhead. That was a fuck you to the Raiders overall, not just the McDaniels. That was a fuck you to the Raiders.
You know what?
I think
Cap,
that the Chiefs
you said hold on, Ralph. You saying that, Cap, actually made me think about this has nothing to do with McDaniels. Captain, that's exactly why they did that.
Exactly.
Do you realize they did that because John Gruden rode the buses around fucking Arrowhead? So Andy Reid's get back to that was to have these motherfuckers do a ring around the rosy on the fucking. That shit is crazy. That shit is crazy.
And you reminded like last year. Wait a second. Gentlemen, wait a second, okay? Do you remember last year when Ngakoue had the bright idea that you're going to go out and stomp on the Arrowhead? And then the first fucking play, Josh Jacobs fumbles the ball, and it's a fumble 6.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
There are ideas, and I apologize. My eyes are fucking tired. I've been out too long. There are ideas that might sound good when you think about it, but are fucked up. John Gruden rolling the buses around Arrowhead and a fuck you to Kansas City came back and haunted the Raiders the other day. Stomping on a fucking Arrowhead or the Arrowhead midfield, it got exactly what happened. There's disrespect, and I do think that Josh McDaniels is not fucking stupid. He ain't fucking. He knows that was a big fuck you. He knows that was a big fuck you to the Raider organization. But I think that the way that he handled it in the press conference is his way. I'm sure that when he got into the locker room, okay, I can't say I'm sure, but I believe that when he got into the locker room, he let them know. We will remember that shit just like the Chiefs remembered the fucking rolling around the fucking stadium. And for those that are here next year, they will do a comeuppance for that. And I firmly believe that. It is not against McDaniels. It's the fucking Chiefs saying fuck you to the Raiders. And I tell you what,
Captain,
motherfuckers are the smuggest motherfucking people in the goddamn NFL. They're smug. And I can't wait until somebody fucking knocks their ass out of the playoffs.
Captain, listen to me. Even if they ran that play, they don't run that play if we're in the game with them. They ran that play because they were kicking our ass. Let's just say how it is.
Right.
If you want to
they
blame
ran
John
that play
Gruden
because they were kicking our ass, and it was a big fuck you, Ralph. It was a big fuck you.
If the game was tight and if we were leading in that game, they don't do that play.
Yeah.
What's your point? They had the ability to fucking do the play, and they did.
My point is that in the game, when they ran that play, they were already kicking our ass. When they did that, they don't do that if we're beating them. If we're leading, they don't do that. If the game is competitive, they don't run that play on us.
Okay.
They ran that play on us.
You're proving my point, Ralph. You're proving my point. It was a fuck you Raiders. It was it was like when fucking wait a second. It was like when Harbaugh shut the fuck up, let the old man fucking speak for one.
What was that?
It was like when fucking John Harbaugh ran a fucking fake fucking field goal in fucking Baltimore when they were up by 30 fucking points. It was a fuck you. And it was a fuck you.
Those plays don't get ran if it's a close game, is what I'm telling you.
It doesn't matter if it was close or not. It was a fuck you. The game was done. The game was done. We were not competitive.
Correct.
We were not competitive.
And that's the reason why they ran that play, because they were already beating our ass. Okay?
Okay. So what's your point?
The point is
they could do it because they were kicking our ass.
Respect for us. Josh McDaniels is a fucking joke. They don't run that play on any other team. They don't run that on any other coach. Okay.
They don't have a ring around the rosy for any other team because no other fucking team ran the buses around Arrowhead.
We don't know.
That's the point.
It don't matter. We're the only team in the league that play got ran on.
Only team. Because it's a goddamn Chiefs Raiders game, Ralph. How long have you been a Raiders fan, Ralph?
Hey,
come on.
Ralph, we're also the only team in the NFL to keep a quarterback for 9 years that never won a playoff.
Listen, we're also the only team that got beat by what's his name in Indy.
For the sake of the show, let's move on past Derek Carr, my friend, because we can be here all night talking about what good he's done, what bad he's done.
But I'm saying you're but see you're
ranked 32 in the league. We don't want
you're
to
saying,
do that. Let's move
but
past
no,
it.
but you're saying I'm talking about him. I'm talking about him as it relates to McDaniels, because you're talking about him and him having his year right with the team that we lost with. But this team that we had, McDaniels wasn't on this team last year, the year before that, right? It was Gruden's teams. And then before Gruden, it was somebody else's teams. And we still had the same results every year, right? Defense is terrible, right? We're not getting it done when we need to in crunch time. And when we need to win those crucial games, Carr's throwing an interception, or or offensively we're making some type of blunder, right? We'll say a penalty, or whatever, or
A
whatever.
fumble.
But
A
but
fumble.
all of that, 8 years of that has nothing to do with McDaniels, and then 18 years of that has nothing to do with McDaniels and Carr, right? We've been sorry for 20 years, right?
Right.
But in these past 20 years, a whole block of them, decade of them, was dedicated with one quarterback behind the helm. We were finally moving on from, right? But with him still being there, every coach coming in, new regimes, right? New systems, but still that is the one constant. So here's now an opportunity for us. With all that being said, we're finally going to now see another new system, right? But this time, a new somebody else behind the helm. Who's it going to be? We don't know, right? Is it going to be, you feel me? Brady or Rodgers?
I
Maybe
don't know
Rodgers
about
is
you
not
guys,
is,
but
is not
this
out.
It's not Rodgers. It's not Rodgers. They're not going to give up capital for Rodgers.
moving forward, and I'm in agreement.
A young
Derek
guy.
Carr didn't work out. Derek Carr was not in the future. The organization, whether if it was Mark Davis or if it was Ziegler or McDaniels, they didn't see Derek Carr in the future, and that's okay. We got to move on from Derek Carr. I've already moved on. I'm good. Okay. But what it seems to me like moving forward, whatever direction it is that they go into as far as quarterback, it seems to me like we, all of us, are in for a rebuild. That's what it seems like to me. And I think that's part of the reason why I'm so upset over the current state of the Raiders right now. Because we've lived through rebuilds for the past
Right.
25,
I mean,
almost 30 years.
Ralph, how long have you been? Ralph, I'm gonna ask people here because I'm gonna play the old man get off my fucking lawn card right now.
Since
I'm
Bo
playing that fucking
Jackson,
card.
since Bo Jackson was on the Wheaties boxes, since Bo Jackson was on my folder in school, since I wanted to be like Bo Jackson, that's how long. So I'm just gonna come out and tell you how long that I've been a Raider fan. Not as long
Okay,
as you, but I've been a fan of
gotcha,
the Raiders ever since
gotcha,
the '90s. I'm from Las Vegas, born and raised. So
gotcha.
for that reason, I've always gravitated towards the Southern California teams because at that time Vegas didn't have any professional teams. So my teams were the LA Raiders, the LA Kings, the LA Lakers. So I've been a Raiders fan since the early 90s. Okay?
Okay.
So
Well,
I'm just
what,
going to go ahead and just tell
Ralph,
you without you even asking.
Ralph, Ralph? What I'm trying to tell you is this. I recall, and yeah, I am old. I recall the 70s. I also recall the 80s when we were good. I also recall the end of the 90s when we sucked ass. Okay. The 2000s, we started getting good again because of Gruden, and then we had that fall off the cliff. This is highs and lows, highs and lows. The Raiders have never been a Super Bowl type team unless they had a fucking defense that was worth a spit. Okay. And I also will take away from, I will take as an aberration was the offensive minded Rich Gannon team when they went to the Super Bowl against John Gruden, who had a defense from Monty Kiffin. Okay. The
Tony
Raiders
Dungy.
are not a good team and they're not a powerful and a winning team unless they have a fucking defense that can fucking shut people down. And this team, and again, I'm sorry, guys, I'm so fucking tired. This team needs a rebuild on defense, and defense. Okay? There are people that have won. So, like I said, when you have Trent Dilfer and Joe Flacco and other motherfuckers that win Super Bowls, they win it because of their defense. Even
Right.
Ben Rapist Pervert won Super Bowls because of their defense. Okay? We got to have a defensive upgrade. The offense is one of the better offenses in the league, and all you got to do is upgrade the fucking defense and upgrade the offense is tweak so that when you give the defense, when they stop the motherfuckers and they turn it over to the offense, you don't have Derek Carr throwing a fucking interception in the end zone in Tennessee. You don't have Derek Carr. And again, I know we're off of Carr, but I'm saying you got to have somebody to get the goddamn win. Okay? We lose to Kansas City by 1. We lose to Tennessee because of a fucking interception on a 2-point conversion. We lose to all of these people. We're up by 20 points, 17 points. Yes, it's a matter of the defense folding at the inopportune time, but it's also, as GQ said, it's a matter of turning the ball over and giving it to the offense, and the offense fucking splats and doesn't do shit. Yes, we deserve better because I'm too fucking old to keep saying, well, there's always next year. There's always next year. You guys will be around for another next year. I'm not saying I will. And I'm sick and fucking tired of it, man. I've been a fan since 1972 living in Philadelphia. Okay? Everybody thinks I live out in fucking Arizona or California or New Mexico because of my fandom. I go to the fucking games. And it's like, I'm not saying I'm better than anybody else, no. But now I have the wherewithal to go to the fucking games to show my love. And I do it because I love it. And I come from the fucking goddamn Tampa area every fucking event. Every game, every fucking Narrator Nation explosion, every fucking draft, every fucking this, that, and the other thing, because I care. I don't have a lot of, it's next year, it'll be okay. And it needs to be fixed. But I'm saying we need to fix a lot of shit. When the Raiders made the playoffs last year, they were 7-2 in one-score games. It was a team that had the breaks at the right time. And if a fucking official hadn't made a fucked up call in Cincinnati, maybe we would have went to the Super Bowl. I'm not saying it, but a one fucked up call in Cincinnati fucked over a lot of things. I'm just saying, I'm not mad at you, Ralph. I'm not mad at everybody on here. And yeah, I'm sorry that I appear to be like the old motherfucker with the get off my lawn. I apologize. But I'm pissed off for doing all of this shit. And I got friends here. And I'm just saying, I want to see another fucking Lombardi before I die. Or if not, the next time we win a Lombardi, I want everybody to fucking put little pendants and pennants and pins and programs on my fucking gravestone when we win another fucking Super Bowl.
We'll do that for you, Captain.
We got you,
Hey,
Cap.
the last time we went to the Super Bowl, or I won't even say last time we went to the Super Bowl, but those years, and I'm just putting this in perspective about not about any particular quarterback, but about you, like, oh, Gannon, he had a team, he had this player and that player, right? And they had cast that was helping them out, right? He had a couple Pro Bowlers on defense, a couple on offense, but also if we're remember Gannon was on a 4-year, $16 million deal, 4-year, $16 million. That's what his contribution was, right? So they had plenty of money to pay motherfuckers to be there, right? Like the Jerry Rices and the Tim Browns and the whoever's on defense, Charles Woodson, you feel me? So again, the money that we're going to be able to have and use, whatever, it's going to be some other moves being made or whatever too, but they have to be able to do the right thing. Now, this is where it comes on the organization, right? They have to be able to do the right thing and acquiring the right pieces, go and get the defense and building that, you feel me? They have to do that. They have to do that, because if we have that defense like everybody want, right? We go get a top 5, top 3 defense, and it don't matter who the fuck is the quarterback, right? Everybody say all you can need is a defense, and no matter who playing quarterback, then go get a defense, go get a right tackle, and then it don't matter who playing quarterback. It can be Stidham, right? Why not Stidham? Because if anybody can play behind a top 5 defense, then why not Stidham? Why not Chase Garber? It don't matter, right? Then what's the problem? Build the defense, build the defense, get a right tackle, and run it.
We got a right tackle, shipmate. I firmly believe that Mumford is our right tackle. I really do.
We got a lot of shit we got to take care of. I want to say that I also got to cut it off pretty quick because I got to go pick up the wife pretty soon, and we're a little over time. That's neither here nor there.
It's because I was on the show. I apologize. I'm an old, long-winded motherfucker who's combative.
We're all good, brother. We're all good. We're all good, man. Honestly, I'm really happy that Ralph, that you were here, and Cap, you were here, and Omar. And I know Omar, we've both been kind of sitting quietly today, and honestly, it's been a great conversation too, and I really feel like that I really extra appreciate when people come in and have different opinions. Because when it basically boils down to it, motherfucking, we all just want the Raiders to win. However way it comes down, right? So Cap, and you keep talking about Cap. You don't know how many years you have left. Motherfucking none of us do. We just want to win a motherfucking Super Bowl, man. Texas in here getting old. I'm old as dirt. Motherfucking, we never know what's going to happen tomorrow. So we want to win motherfucking championships, man.
Hey, a kid almost died on the field the other day, right? Hamlin, he almost died right there on the field. You feel me? Young cat.
24.
Right. So let's go ahead and we can, before we cut it off, we can agree to disagree on some things, but we can all agree we just want the motherfucking Raiders to win, man. Period.
Facts.
Amen.
We
Facts.
just want the Raiders to win. So you know what, man? It was a great conversation, and it really, honestly, too, I want to extra say to you, Ralph, man, we love that sign. We love the shirt, man.
Absolutely.
I've been saying that for years.
Yeah.
We have been saying that for years. Honestly, I remember so many seasons, the last game of the year at the Oakland Coliseum coming out, and the TJs and the Rocks. Rock was in here earlier, and shit like that. Hugging the homies like man, I can't believe the season's over. I might not see my homeboy till next season, and we deserve something. Because we be out there at fucking 6 in the morning, 5:30 in the morning,
This
till 5 at night, and like we give everything for that shit. So
buddy,
we just
this ain't
that.
Going to games nowadays, especially since they've been here in Las Vegas. It ain't cheap. It ain't easy to do this. For me to lug around my equipment to tailgate on Saturday nights to load it up for the next day, it is not easy, man. It is a pain in the ass, let me tell you. When you go to our tailgates and you see us hanging out, sometimes you don't see the behind the scene things that go. We spend our own money to provide food and alcohol for all of us to have a good time. We have a lot. Most of us have a lot invested in this, and that's why I feel so passionate about the way that I feel, because these PSLs that I paid for both of these seats that I have aren't cheap. They're expensive. So I feel, and forgive me for sounding entitled, but I feel like I have a say-so in this shit right here, man. Because to go through every single year, to have to feel like I'm going to have to rebuild after this season, after what happened and me getting kicked out of the game and all that other bullshit, I left feeling like, man, we are farther away right now to a Super Bowl than we are close. Last year, I couldn't say that. Last year was the opposite. Last year, when we beat the Chargers at home to go to the playoffs, that was a playoff game in itself. I'll never forget how happy I was. I think I was happy. I was as happy when the Raiders beat the Titans to go to the AFC Championship, right? It felt like that. You know what I mean? And this ain't easy to do, man. This is hard for us to travel, and for Captain Jack to travel the way that he does, all the way from Florida to come up here to go to all the games. This shit is not easy. It's not hard. And that's why I say is that we deserve better from this organization. You know what I mean? I can't call I can't call Mark Davis on the phone and voice the frustrations. I can't go to the facility and knock on the door. So the only way that I can voice my frustrations is by doing what it is that I did, and by holding up the sign that says we deserve better. Because whether you're a car fan or a car hater, or whether you support McDonald's or not, we still all deserve better than what we're seeing. The results that are being put out on that field, we deserve better than that, because we are the most passionate, the most loyal fan base there is in the NFL. If you watch, I don't care who they're playing. It could be when we were in London. I went to London. I've been to Mexico twice. If the team was to play in Mars, I'd be there. You know, holding up signs, acting a fool. But that's what we do. We're passionate, and all we want is some stability in this organization. We want the heads of this organization, of this team, to look down and say, hey, you know what? We got to do right by these people. The people that actually fill the stands, the people that buy tickets and make these cross-country treks to come to the game. We need to do right by them, because if it wasn't for them, right, we wouldn't be here right now. That's what I'm saying to you guys, and that's the message that I'm trying to put out by saying we deserve better. We, as a nation, as a Raider nation, right, we all deserve better. We deserve better than what we're seeing right now, because the
For 20
direction that this
years.
team is headed in, I'm sorry, guys, we can be here all night arguing about this, that, and the other. I just don't feel like I felt a year ago heading into the offseason. I don't, right? But it is what it is, and I just hope that the message got through to them and they can see that the fan base is upset right now. And all I did was just voice the feelings that many of us have already been feeling
for years and years and years and years, for years and years and years. And Ralph, thank you. I appreciate you, voice, because we've said that for years. However, I will say I don't feel that far away. Even though we were 6-11, which sounds awful, we were in all these one-score games. I really feel like we have 13 draft picks. I mean, whatever.
We should have a lot of cap space now that we're not going to re-sign Derek Carr.
And now we're going to have a lot of cap space. If you sew up that defense and you sign Josh Jacobs, whether it be franchise or you sign him to a 2-3 year deal.
I don't think, listen, Thor, I don't think.
And you have Hunter and you have whatever receivers you throw in there with a Devontae, I feel like we're going to be competitive enough to win. Honestly.
Let me ask you guys this real quick before we leave, because I honestly don't know. I'm not trying to throw shade. I honestly don't know, and I want to ask you guys. Maybe you guys know, or maybe somebody that is watching the show, maybe they can chime in. As far as I know, isn't Josh Jacobs an unrestricted free agent? And if he is an unrestricted free agent, can the team still franchise tag him? I don't know the answer to that.
Yes, to both.
So no matter what, they can franchise tag him no matter what?
Yes.
Yep.
Now let me ask you this: do you think that the coaching, that the management of the team, do you think the way that they handled the Josh Jacobs situation in the beginning of the season, do you think that they did right about that, or do you think that they may have regret doing what they did by not picking up his option, and thus for making him prove this season that he's worth re-signing? Because I kind of feel, and this is my feeling, I feel that Josh may not be too happy with this management because they made
He's not.
Because they made him play in the Hall of Fame game. If you guys remember, he was the only running back.
Yes, and I got insight into that. Okay. I was speaking with a friends of Josh Jacobs last week when I'm coming home. Okay. In the Dallas airport. Okay. And they were wearing Niner gear, and that's why I had struck up a conversation with them, because they're just coming back from the game. And he said that they are from Tulsa. Okay. So, and they know Josh personally. And he told me about his signing with Alabama. He was not even Alabama's first choice.
Right.
They had a signing event for him, and he was basically on standby until one of the other people fell through, and then the guy said, "Yeah, we're going to sign you." And that was the first mark of disrespect to Josh Jacobs when he pulled through it. Okay. Right. Josh felt slighted and was pissed the fuck off by what happened this year, by them not picking up his fifth-year option. And he said, "Oh, well, watch this shit. Hold my beer." And he was the rushing champion for the league. Now, he wants to be a Raider. But the operative words were, and I think that GQ said it, is like, if things are right, or there was a line in there. If it makes sense. Thank you there, shipmate. Okay. If it makes sense and the money is right, he will be a Raider.
Okay. So what you're saying, Cap, is if the money was right, do you feel okay? Now hear me out. Do you feel that by the Raiders not picking up his option, right? And him having the season that he had. Now, I'm not criticizing the management because it's damned if you do, damned if you don't, right?
Mhm.
A lot of people can say, you know what, he balled out because he knew that it was his final year. And a lot of people can say, you know what, if you would have re-signed him to the option, and he would have pulled a Darren Waller where he got the fat contract and didn't decide to play half the game, even if he was injured. A lot of people say that he was injured, but he could have played and he chose not to play. But what I'm saying to you is that even though if he felt slighted and he and if you can, this is listen, Josh. This is I love Josh Jacobs so much because after the way that they approached his contract this year, he took and he didn't complain to the media. He didn't pout. He didn't sit out. He didn't complain when they started him in the Hall of Fame game,
Right.
which I thought was the ultimate disrespect. He was
It
the
was.
only starting running back in the league that played that first week of preseason with a bunch of scrubs. But they did that, and he never, not once did he ever complain. Not once did he ever blame management. Never, not. Instead, you know what he did? He said, you know what? I'm going to show you. But now that I'm going to
Yeah,
show you,
he
it's
used it. He used it to his benefit.
right. But
He
now,
used what was the slight to his benefit.
right. But now I feel that his stock has risen all the way to the top. And he's going to have a price tag that I just don't feel that the Raiders are going to be able to afford.
I agree. Actually, Ralph, I agree with you. And here's the other thing. That's why they actually did pick up Zamir White. That's why they did draft Britton Brown, because they
Right.
see the way that I'm not going to say the fucking Patriot way. I can't stand that. The way those fucking cheaters play in New England, they have a system. It's running back by committee.
Right.
And the only running back that they've had in the years that was worth the salt was Corey Dillon, and they basically told him to watch his P's and Q's because he was fucking trouble. He was a very
Right.
productive back, but he was trouble. And Belichick said, you better watch your fucking P's and Q's. You're on my team now. Their modus operandi is having a running back by committee. Even when they drafted the kid out of Georgia that played for the Rams, I can't remember his name.
Gurley.
No, not Gurley. It was Sony Michel. Even when
Okay.
they drafted Sony Michel, they basically redshirted him for a year, and he didn't really start playing until his second year. That's the way they do things. That is why Zamir White was basically redshirted this year. He played a little, but not a lot. I haven't seen Britton Brown, so he basically was redshirted this year. So that is their way of doing things. I firmly believe that now that they fucked up in not doing what they did with Josh, and I don't know. I'm not in McDaniels' head. I don't know if it's going to be good enough or not, but they will come to a number, and they will say, we want to keep you on the team, but it's going to be with this number. And if the number isn't good enough for Josh is going to Kansas City. You can mark my fucking words on that, because that's local. That's right up the street from Tulsa. And if you don't think that Kansas City wants the second iteration of Marcus Allen, fuck you Raiders, you got another thing coming.
I was thinking maybe Miami, but it makes complete sense what you're saying, Captain. And I sure hope, for the sake of all of us, that it doesn't end up happening that way. But I just feel that they handled that right. But like I said, I'm not trying to pile on. I'm not trying to blame them, because at the end of the day, I might feel the same way about McDaniels now. But you know what? Changes all that? Winning changes all that. At this point, I feel like they have to. I feel that they have to start winning back the fans. They have to start at first. What they got to do is they have to put a product on the field that is going to make the fans come back to them and fill these stands instead of the opposing team.
Right? Hey, Mark Davis, put a fucking winning product on the field and stop bitching about it. You got asses in the seats, asshole. You got asses in the seats. They're not wearing the right color jersey, but you're still making money. You stupid motherfucker.
Hey, but look, it don't matter who the owner is. It don't matter who the GM is. It don't matter who the coach is, because on the field, the players have to execute. If you got players on the field, it don't matter who the players are. They could be the best, the top recruited, the highest paid. It could be the whoever. But if you have the highest paid or the best number one receiver in the NFL, Devontae Adams, and he catch a ball and can't keep his feet in bounds, what does it matter? So at the end of the day, again, this brings me back to my point about this season and about the opportunities that we had. And a couple different players, captains, Devontae and Josh Jacobs, alluded to that fact of people blaming the coaching in particular times. And I'm not saying coaching didn't make no mistakes, but at the end of the day, we have to execute. We have to execute plays, whether that's the quarterback throwing the ball right, or a receiver not dropping, or not a fumble, or the defense tackling, or whatever the fuck is the case. At the end of the day, execution, no matter who the players are, it's going to have to be paramount. And that's just period, point blank. They have to execute on the field. If I'm the coach, because I have coached, I call a play, trips right, nigga, 582, and you don't run it right. It don't matter what play I call if you don't run the play and execute the shit. And that's just me, man. You got to execute at the end of the day. So I'm looking forward to that. I'm looking forward to the product on the field actually coming through, right? Because if we win all those one-score games this year, we're not talking about McDaniels in this same way, or the defense, or whatever. We'll still say we need improvement. We'll still say we should get this or need that. But we wouldn't be talking how we was talking if we was 13 and fucking whatever, or 12 and whatever, instead of what we are. And
no, if we were 9-8, we would be in the playoffs. Fact. You win 3 of those games. You win 3 of those close games. We're 9-8.
I can tell you which ones: Arizona, Pittsburgh, Rams. Yep. Those are your 3 games right there.
Kansas City. I mean, there was so many games we should have won. It doesn't even make sense. Jacksonville, we were up fucking 20-0 or something.
Jacksonville, Tennessee, the first Kansas City game. There's 3 more.
Kansas City game, right? And so, anyway, man.
Yeah.
I love y'all. Thank y'all for being here. I really gotta go.
Definitely.
I gotta and Ralph, man, we'll talk to you, man.
Thank you guys for having me. I had a great time. Please feel free to reach out next time you guys have a show. I'll be more than glad to come on with you guys. You know what I mean? But I hope everybody.
He won't come on my show, but he'll come on your show. I see how it is, Ralph. Because I'm throwing at you. You ain't gonna. But I see how it is, Ralph. I got you. I got you.
I'm saying, throw me an invite and I'll be there. Throw me an invite.
No, I got a standard invite. If anybody wants to be on my show, show the fuck up and call in. It's for everybody. It's a Captain Jack show.
You
standard
do a radio
invite.
Show?
No, it's YouTube.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Okay.
We got you.
I will say this, and I got to go too, because as you notice, I had a phone call in the middle of this, and I had to fucking push block because they're saying, "Where the fuck are you? You should have been home that hour and a half ago." Anyway,
it's
tomorrow.
12 o'clock. It's 12:30 Captain Jack's time.
Yeah, no shit. I was supposed to be home at 11. Okay.
It's 12:30 out there.
And I'm in the truck, still here in the fucking airport parking lot because of you guys out of respect, okay? Tomorrow night, Silver and Black Ladies Night, the ladies will be doing a recap of the year, and they are very knowledgeable, but everybody can come in. Wednesday, it's not a show that I do. I am on a show kind of like this. I am a participant for Wild Wild West, where I will get my ass handed to me by the smug fucking Chiefs fan. And then NFL Nation Live, where we got that official and violator. Thursday, though, is my show. Thursday is my show where I have people come in, okay? And everybody's invited. I'm just saying that, well, you said, well, no, y'all can still pop in on those shows. It's just that I'm not going to be able to pull you in because it's a different format. I just wanted to make sure people know about that. But I love everybody here. And Thor knows, and Omar knows, and Q knows. I am so glad that they are on their own channel. I won't say anything more because I wanted to give them props and participate and hang out with them, with the guys that deserved it. and I will be more than happy to have everybody come in. And Ralph, thank you for coming in. GQ, it was great hanging out with you as well. Again, I can't see shit, and my eyes are fucking tired, so apologies there.
Shout
But
out to Cap.
And you got Omar over there. And Cap, before you finish, man, everybody that's listening to this right now, I forgot to say, make sure y'all go ahead and take that shot with us. You know, that means hit that like button, subscribe, you feel me? Come back and listen to us again. I think you still there, Cap?
still here. People are, I don't know why I'm bouncing out or whatever, but I'm still, hey, gentlemen and Ralph and see, well, Ralph's not like that. Ralph's not a gentleman, but all y'all, okay. It was great to be here. I'm going to have the wrath of why the fuck weren't you here a long time ago, but I will deal with that. And hey, I got to go to work tomorrow.
Cap, let me ask you one quick question before you go.
Yes, sir.
So I was sitting kind of where you were during this game that I got kicked out at, right?
Uh-huh.
Now, I remember earlier in the season, I'm trying to think what game it was that I sat in the same seats, because like I said, those weren't my normal season seats, but those are my aunt seats. And so you were with a real fine-looking woman with you, man, that was dressed up. Is that your woman?
That is just a +1 for the game.
Cap always be having a cold one.
If you guys didn't see her, with all due respect, smoke show. Wow.
And Captain, I am still with For Life, but I had to come over here and kick it with my homie Thor any chance I get, because he's my family, man. You know what I mean? There's never going to ever be any love lost between us. GQ, man. So, you know, but I'm still with my folks over there, man. So, but anyways, just good to be here.
Oh, I didn't say anything. I didn't mention any other channels at all.
It's all good.
Not at all. Words did not ever come out of my mouth, Omar, because that would just be wrong.
Hey, you know it's all good. You know it's all good, Captain.
All right, fellas. So we out.
Y'all take care.
Yeah. We got to let Thor go, man, so he can go pick up wifey, man.
Thank you guys.
You tell Melissa I said hello.
All right, fellas.
I'll hit you guys next time for sure. We always do the Monday show. Once in a while, we do a random other night. I think me and Q was talking about maybe just doing some like playoff prediction kind of shows and whatever for the next couple weeks on like a Friday or something. So we'll see. But I definitely holler at you guys about it for sure.
All right, fellas.
Yeah. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.